structure and the types of governments. What do you mean by structure of government? The structure of government, we're talking about the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, we actually understand that the main functions of this structure of government are clearly spelled out. Like the legislature, the function of the legislature is to make law. Though that is not the only function of the legislature. We also have the executive arm of government, which is to implement policy. Though that is not only that is not also the only function of the executive. We also have the judiciary. It's also one of the structure of government. The judiciary, their main function is to interpret law, but that is not only their function as well. Let me now explain a little of their functions more. Now, for the judiciary, one of the functions of the judiciary, apart from interpretation of the law, is to settle disputes. And that is why, for any government to work effectively, the arm of government must be made independent of external control, made independent of other arms of government as well. That means the judicial system of government, they are there to also standardize the system and to also fight and make sure that the fundamental human right is being upheld at all time. Now, the legislative system too, we have the main functions of the legislature is to make law. Don't forget. But there are instances where the legislatures also perform what they call oversight functions. What are oversight functions? These are functions that are being carried out by the legislature, especially the committee of that. Let's take, for instance, now a particular committee in the legislature, like Committee on Education. If the Ministry of Education actually sent a particular budget, or they actually the Committee on Appropriation actually rectify a particular budget and sends to Committee on Education, the Committee of Education will scrutinize that particular budget. After that particular budget is being scrutinized and assented to by the executive, the legislature will now as well look into how that particular funds are being utilized per time. Sometimes they go to the ministry, they go to the parastatals, to the agency, don't forget, the executive, to know how this particular money are being spent or how these particular funds are being utilized per time. That is what we call oversight functions. And for the executive arm of government, some aspect of the executive arm of government, they also make policies. Now, under the executive arm of government, we have parastatals, we have ministry, and this ministry have been headed by a minister at the federal level. At the state level, is being headed by the commissioner. Now, this particular ministry, they actually implement the government policy. They also make law. And don't forget the fact that under this particular ministry, they have cadre as well. We have the administrative, we have the clerical. What are their functions? Their function is to carry out the day-to-day activities of the government. And to make sure that the government actually deliver the purpose through which it has been set up, which is to also maintain law and orderliness in the society. Yes, in this particular government too, we also have different types of government in the world, depending on the system they operate, or depending on the peculiarity of that particular country or the system. Like in Nigeria, we operate what they call a federal system of government. Some countries, they operate parliamentary system of government. Some countries, they operate what they call a monarchical system of government. Some countries operate what they call a oligarchy system of government. Some aristocratic system of government, some fascism, some narcissism, depending on some totalitarian system of government. The reason why some of this country also operate this particular system, I told you, is because number one, the population. Number two, it depends on homogeneity of that particular country. Another one is the size of that particular country. Another one is the language. Language barrier can actually make a particular country to choose the kind of system suitable for that particular society. So, for instance, in Nigeria, we are operating what we call federal system of government. Why are we operating federal system of government? So that everybody can be carried along. Nigeria is too vast in terms of culture, in terms of religion. We are much, and in terms of population, we are much. So we can't operate a system like unitary system of government. We can only operate a system like a federal system. And what is federal system of government? The federal system of government is a system of government where we have the federal and other subordinate units, where the federal controls the resources and distribution of power among the central and other subordinate units. The federal, the power accrued or allocated to that to the federal according to the constitution of that particular country is spread out as exclusive functions, exclusive power. What are exclusive power? Exclusive power or functions or list are functions that can only be carried out by the federal government. Like, for instance, the printing of polymer, the money we spend, the external affairs, international relations, security affairs, territory protection. That is under exclusive functions. We also have what we call concurrent functions. These are functions that can only be carried out by the state governments, although the federal government can also carry out some of these functions. Like, for instance, education. Education is under the concurrent functions. The state government can build university, just like Lagos State University is built or established by the Lagos State government. We also have University of Lagos, UNILAG. It's established by the federal government. We have University of Ibadan. It's established by the federal government. We have Obafemi Awolowo University. It's established by the federal government. Those are the first generational schools established in Nigeria in 1962. We have University of Port Harcourt, University of Calabar. We also have state university like River State University of Science and Technology. That is one of the state university established schools. You understand? That is under a concurrent functions. Not only that, we also have some infrastructural activities or infrastructural things or infrastructural mechanism put in place by the state government as well. Like building of roads. We have federal road and we also have state road. A road that links a state to another state is the federal road, just like this Aba road, the Aba road. The road that links Lagos State to Oyo State is a federal road, but the road within the state, it is called a state road. That means a road that links a local government to another local government is a state road. Well, that's where the word trunk A, trunk B road comes in, trunk C road comes in. The state government road, a federal government road. So those are functions that the state government can perform on this. The federal government can also perform some of them. We also have health. In terms of health, we have Federal Medical Center, OWO. That's the federal hospital. We have Federal University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. That's the federal university. That's the federal hospital. We have University of Benin Teaching Hospital. That's the federal hospital. We have University of Ibadan Teaching Hospital. That's the federal university. That's the federal hospital. We also have state hospitals. These state hospitals are funded or have been funded by state governments. The federal hospitals I made mention of, they are being funded by the federal government as well. What are they doing? They are trying. Their main purpose is to make sure that they deliver health facility or health service to the citizenry. That is their main functions, either at the federal level or at the state level. We also have what we call residual function as well. It's also one of the function of the government as well, because the local government was established in 1963, but it became a third test of government under 1978 local government reform. It became a third test of government. So, and which perform what we call residual functions. What is the residual functions? These are functions that are carried out majorly by local governments, like naming of streets, collecting of tax, rate and levy, building of pipe-borne waters. These are functions carried out by local government. Giving of chieftaincy title, like for instance, now if you want your street to be named after you, or if you want a particular society to be established via traditional system, and you want to become a king in that particular society, well, you can go to a local government. They will name that particular community. They can actually make you the first king in that particular society, in that particular community, and you'll be given a stab of office. That is the function. That is one of the functions of the local government. And don't forget the fact that I said we have different systems of government in the world, like a parliamentary system of government. What is parliamentary system of government? Parliamentary system of government is the system of government whereby we have the head of the state, the office of the head of the state, different or distinct from office of the head of government. The head of state can actually be the king or the queen, whereby the head of government can actually is the prime minister. The head of government perform the real function, perform the day-to-day function. But the head of state is just like a ceremonial system, just like the way we have Nnamdi Azikiwe as the first ceremonial in Nigeria. So they perform such function. Now, in a parliamentary system of government, the party that has the majority in the house chooses the prime minister. For instance, in Britain has House of Lords, they also have House of Commons. Now they practice two-party system, the Labour and Conservative. If Labour Party elects the majority in the House, that means Labour Party will choose the Prime Minister. They will choose minister from that particular party that has the majority in the legislature, in the legislative arm. Now, after choosing ministers from that particular party, the new minister will now choose a prime minister. The prime minister means the head of the ministers among them, who will look into the day-to-day activity. And that particular prime minister becomes the head of the political party. Yes, becomes the head of the political party. So, but one of the disadvantages is that they use what we call collective responsibility. Collective responsibility shows that if a vote of no confidence is passed on the prime minister, that means all other ministers goes down. All other ministers goes down. So, in conclusion, the system we operate in Nigeria is suitable for our system. It's suitable for for Nigeria's system, because Nigeria is an heterogeneous state where we have different culture, different language, different religion, and all of that. I'll be leaving you guys with an assignment, which is go and check more about other system of government, like monarchical system, like the parliamentary system, like aristocratic system, like oligarchy system of government, so that in our next class I can explain more on that as well.